Today News Update.
A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, July 27. So glad you could join us. For the fifth straight quarter, Barbados has recorded economic growth. Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes reported that from January to June, the economy grew by 10.5% as he delivered his report card. A rebound in tourism fortunes led the growth.
Long-stay arrivals reaching 55% of 2019 levels during the second quarter. The sector was again led by the traditional extra-regional markets of the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada. Arrivals from the United Kingdom reached 72% and accounted for 44% of all visitors. There were also modest gains in agriculture, manufacturing exports, and spending in the services sector.
Governor Haynes, however, noted major challenges are on the horizon for tourism given the tough global environment, and as a result, the bank has lowered its growth forecast for the rest of the year.
The continued strength of Barbados' recovery remains dependent on a sustained revival of the tourism sector and the accelerated implementation of investment projects. Forward tourism bookings for the remainder of the year are encouraging as travelers reschedule their COVID-19 postponed trips. The anticipated opening of the Wyndham St. Lawrence property is expected to boost demand towards year-end. However, significant downside risks remain. For example, the global price pressures, the impact of monetary policy changes on advanced economies, as well as summer travel bottlenecks could dampen travel demand. Changes in relative exchange rates in Barbados' key source markets also have the potential to divert some travel away from the Caribbean, while long-standing vulnerabilities associated with climate change remain.
The economists further cautioned that domestic prices will remain high given rising energy and food prices on the global market.
The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects that average crude prices will fall by approximately 6% during the second half of the year, while the Food Agriculture Organization of the United Nations predicts that food prices will remain at elevated levels through 2022. A sustained rise in prices over time reduces the purchasing power of consumers and firms. It has potential wide-ranging implications, including for the Social Security scheme if weak demand is protracted. As prices rise, government revenues increase in the short run, given that the bulk of revenues are generated by ad valorem taxes, such as the value-added tax. This inflation dividend is likely to be offset in part by increased government expenditure, as government itself faces rising costs of goods and services.
In other news this Wednesday, government's fuel import bill nearly tripled in the first quarter of this year when compared to the same period last year. Word of this from Minister of Energy and Business Kerry Simmons as he cautioned that it could further rise. Addressing the Barbados National Standard Institution Visibility Conference today, he said it remains a major challenge.
In the first 4 months of last year, this country spent $162 million on importing petroleum product into this country. In the first 4 months of last year. This year, in the first 4 months, we spent $455 million in importing petroleum product, as opposed to $162 million over the same period of time last year. That statistic alone tells you the nature of the uphill battle this little island is in order to maintain the quality of life, the standard of living, all the things that we have become accustomed to, all of which are fueled by the fuel that we import, the petroleum product that we import. And the cost of it has escalated alarmingly, and unfortunately is likely and is projected to continue to escalate.
Be alert, the executive director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, urges Barbadians and other Caribbean nationals to closely monitor the monkeypox virus. In an interview with CARPHA's communication manager, Carlin Curtin, following the World Health Organization's recent declaration of monkeypox as a public health emergency of international concern, Dr. Joyce St. John expressed concern that infected persons have been presenting with new symptoms.
the way in which this monkeypox infection is showing up is different. People are speaking about really severe lesions in strange places. People are talking about the swelling of lymph nodes so that they protrude through the skin even 2 inches out from where they normally would be. There are even reports of people who could not walk because their lymph nodes were so inflamed. So the way in which monkeypox in this outbreak in non-endemic countries is exhibiting means that people need to pay attention and people need to ensure that they are not infected.
Dr. St. John also advises citizens not to drop their guard in light of 2 newly highly contagious COVID-19 variants. She's expecting the new variants could lead to a major spike in coronavirus cases across the region.
Now that we have BA5 circulating, the member states are aware that they're going to get lots and lots and lots of cases. There may not be that many that are severe, and there may not be that many that go on to death, but they know that there's going to be an increase in cases. So they are on the alert for that. So yes, CARFA has seen an increase. The types of tests have increased as well. We weren't doing gene sequencing before, but we're doing it now very regularly.
Regional and international news coming up after this short break.
In the ocean, it's like a picture in motion. Just ride the wave, I'm feeling so fly.
Pure oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of pure oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
Welcome back. On the regional scene in the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip Davis appeals for an end to heinous crime following the tragic death of a 4-year-old boy on Tuesday night. According to police, the child was with its parents when 2 gunmen ran past their car while shooting at another man. The child was shot and taken to hospital where he succumbed to his injuries.
My heart cries out to the family. I plead to our people. You know, we are killing one another. There's no need for us to turn on one another. Whatever the issues, we need to be able to work them out. We appreciate the state of our country. We are doing our best to alleviate all the suffering and pain. There's hope and there's relief out there. Just be patient and let us deal with the issues that concern you most.
On the international front, at least 5 people have died after an earthquake struck in northern Philippines. Although it did not generate a tsunami warning, government seismologists fear the worst might be yet to come. Aftershocks are expected to persist for days.
A centuries-old bell tower crumbling as a magnitude 7.0 earthquake strikes the Philippines' northern provinces. It sent people out of their homes and buildings and into the streets. The tremor was felt all the way to the capital Manila, 300 kilometers to the south, where metro train operations were disrupted.
Of course I was afraid because we didn't feel that much shaking with previous quakes, but with this one the impact was really strong. We felt it on the 11th floor. There were items that fell down, so we panicked a bit, but we managed to calm ourselves.
In severely affected areas, small buildings caved, walls crumbled, and historic structures gave in. The earthquake cracked open concrete roads and triggered landslides.
Landslides are a problem, especially not only for earthquakes, but during rain. So we have to make sure that areas that are affected by landslide and starting or incipient landslide should be avoided.
let them do their work.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. opted not to travel to the region, which is where his hometown is located. But he assured victims of the national government's continuing efforts to help them recover from the disaster.
The earthquake that struck northern Philippines did not generate a tsunami warning, but government seismologists warn while the worst may be over, aftershocks are expected to persist for days.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. Sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Azumi Media bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.